You guys are awesome. Alright, so shall we get into the Marvel tier list I got? And actually have some interesting conversations now. Let's go. Alright, so this is it here. Like I said, I already put some in here that I haven't seen, which is surprising considering how big of a Marvel fan I am. But as you can see, there's a ton of them here. No, I haven't seen the OG for Blade. I know. I also haven't watched Werewolf at Night yet, but I want to. Or Runaways, or Man Thing. I know. Don't hate me. Also, the Punisher. I don't know if this is a movie. I know there was an original Punisher movie, right? Runaways is surprisingly... Yeah, I've seen, like... I'm gonna make next movie night Blade just for you. Aw. Well, I'll be there, Michelle. Yeah, I know I've heard a lot of great things about the Blade movies. Alright. So, I try to break this tier list up. So there's a lot of different levels here. What Guardians is that? Well, there's this Guardians here, and oh, Guardians is this is volume 3 that's coming out this year. Somehow it's in this list. And this is Ant-Man Quantumania, which is also coming out this year. So, definitely going to see both of those. Did you watch the Groot? Grogu? Groot, okay. It's so good. It's okay, Michelle. It's all good. I think I knew what you meant. Howard the Duck. Is this in here? I think it was in one of them that I was looking at, but I don't see it in this one. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get to watch the Groot shorts, but I want to, because I love Groot. Okay, so... I don't even know where to start, there's so much. Alright, so I did watch the Christmas special and I loved it. So I'm gonna start with that one. Sleepy is saddened by this. Yeah, I don't think it's in here. But yeah, the Guardians Christmas special was, I thought it was really great. I loved seeing, well, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, because I know it's still relatively new. It came out around, was it around Thanksgiving or Christmas? Somewhere around there. But anyway, I thought it was really good. It was pretty funny. I enjoyed it a lot, so that goes A for me. The Guardians have always been like some of the funniest stuff that Marvel's put out. So with talking about Guardians, I guess I should go ahead and put Guardians 1 and 2 up here. So I would put all 3 Guardian movie things into the same one because I just love them. And like, for me, the Guardians, I'll be honest, I had no idea who they were like before watching the movies. But like after seeing the first Guardians and figuring out who these characters were, I was like, oh my gosh, I love these. I love these characters so much. They're so amazing. Like, yeah. But like it made me want to go out and do research on who these characters were and figure out more about them. So yeah, they are cool, and I'm so excited for the 3rd Guardians movie, but I know I'm probably gonna break my heart in a million pieces given what the trailer showed us, and given what I know that like this is like the last Guardians movie that we're gonna get with this Guardians team, so that makes me sad. That makes me really sad. But either way, I'm excited to see it. So for me, Guardians, all 3 Guardians projects are in A. Yeah, that is sad. Because James Gunn did such a good job with the Guardians movies. He really did. Like he brought a lot of humor to the MCU with the Guardians, and that's what makes them so great. All right, gosh. Yeah, James Gunn is going to DC now. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Okay. I guess I'll start at the bottom. So, WandaVision. WandaVision is an A+ for me, because I know it has varied with a lot of people, but to me, it's an A+, because, for one, Elizabeth Olsen is a queen. Let's just say that. Yeah, I know. I would put it in C. Yeah. I mean, personally, I love Scarlet Witch as a character, and so WandaVision was really great. To me. And I loved that they explored like emotional trauma and grieving, and like it broke my heart in some places, because like the amount of trauma that she had went through up to that point, and seeing everything that was happening during that series, it just broke my heart sometimes, but it also made me so happy, because Scarlet Witch has become one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Universe and the MCU, so yeah, I mean, I love that they made it different from what Marvel has put out so far. So I loved it. I love that they based it on like old sitcoms. That was really interesting how they did that. They did. It really did. Alright. Next is Wakanda Forever. Okay. So, I know this movie has gotten mixed reviews by a lot of people. I think for me, like going into it, I was really hyped about it. And like, I know I posted on my Instagram story that I absolutely loved it, that it was a masterpiece. But like, looking back, I don't think it's as good as everyone says it is. I mean, it's a great movie. It's a good, solid movie. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's, I don't know how to explain it. I think I cried 3 times. I cried several times. One of the good things I thought they did well in that movie was their tribute to Chadwick Boseman. I thought that was really heartfelt and sweet. I did like that part. I also loved that they introduced Namor. I thought he was really great and just downright dangerous. Like when I first found out that he was gonna be in the MCU finally, I was pretty hyped about it because Namor has so many different connections with Marvel characters. Not just the Avengers, but also Fantastic Four. So I'm actually kind of excited to see what Marvel does with Namor. But yeah, once Black Panther Wakanda Forever comes out on Disney Plus, I'm definitely gonna watch it again, as I've done with all the other Marvel movies. Yes, I agree. Devil's Cry. He looked so good. Alright. So next is Thor Ragnarok. I love this movie so much. This is definitely my favorite Thor movie out of all 4 of them. It really, like, kind of elevated the humor in the MCU. Yeah. I totally agree with that, Devil. And Thor Love and Thunder was, ugh. I'm not really going to talk about Love and Thunder because it... Oh my god. It could have been so much better. Also, Dark World. Instant F. Yeah, where's the other Thor movie? Okay. The first Thor movie wasn't bad. It was a pretty solid start to the Thor movies. Like, I love how they brought the whole realm of Asgard into the MCU at that point. I loved all the new characters that they introduced, like Odin and Jane Foster and Loki, who has really made a stamp in the MCU up till now. And while we're on the subject of Loki, he goes up there with the Guardians and Ragnarok. And I'll be honest with y'all, when I first saw the first Thor movie, I was not a fan of Loki. To be honest, I did not really like him at all. But now, after like seeing him more throughout the MCU, and actually after seeing the Loki show, it was so good. It was so good. Definitely one of the better Disney Plus shows out there. But yeah, the Loki show actually changed my mind about him, so yeah. It was really good. And definitely the events in Loki will come to play in, like, actually we're getting another season of Loki this year, so that's exciting. And also what happens in Loki will play a part in, like, the multiverse saga, actually the next phase of the MCU. So we're in phase 5 now. So it's exciting. Alright. Multiverse of Madness is next. Okay. Gosh. So curious where it's gonna go. Man, this... I don't know. Yeah, I think I really wanted Multiverse of Madness to be better than what it was. I agree, Avian. It wasn't terrible. I enjoyed it. There was just a few things that really didn't set well with me with that movie. Man. Just the whole Illuminati thing. At first, I was super excited for reasons that you guys probably know. Like, just the cameos that happened just made me so happy. But then what happened after that, it made me really mad and upset. And sad. Wanda suddenly being so evil just really bugs me. Yeah. But, like, the thing is, the Darkhold. The Darkhold is an evil book. So, you should never read it. And that's the lesson we all learned with this movie. But it's a lesson that I already knew because of one of my favorite shows of all time, which I'll get to. Yeah, I really wanted this movie to be amazing because it just, what they showed us in the trailer and what they seemed like the route that they were gonna do, it could have been so much better. Don't read evil books. Exactly. Yeah, they introduced the Darkhold. But to me, actually, it was introduced long before WandaVision, in my opinion. And I'll get to why. But for now, Multiverse of Madness goes here. Oh, hi, Dark Scarlet. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. The stream is going great. We are going through a Marvel tier list and discussing all these Marvel movies that exist. We're just kind of hanging out and vibing and having a good time so far. After we're done with this, we're gonna play some Mario Kart. So actually I probably should share my Switch friend code for anyone who wants to join in on Mario Kart later. Feel free to send me a friend request so you can join in on the race. And also, I will share my Discord because we're gonna have a voice chat going in case you want to join in on the voice chat. So it's gonna be fun. All right, moving on to. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I love this movie so much. It's the whole reason why I got into Marvel in the first place, so I gotta put it up here. Spider-Man will always be the start of my Marvel obsession. Yeah, Spidey time. The moment I watched the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, that's kind of how it all started for me. That's my Marvel origin story. And I will always love that movie till the day I die. So it's up there. Yeah, the OG Spidey will always have a special place in my heart for me. So I don't think there's any other explanation for that. So I'm curious, Dark Scarlet, what got you into Marvel? Oh, well, while we're on the subject, we're Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 also goes up there for me, because that was actually my favorite Spider-Man movie for a long time. Because it's just so good. First of all, Doc Ock is one of the best villains that we've seen for Spider-Man, in my opinion. Yeah, that's basically how I stand Devil's Cry. Spider-Man 2 was my favorite up until No Way Home, so we're Spider-Man 3. There it is. Spider-Man 3 had its issues. I really didn't like all the villains that they threw into one movie, even though they kind of did the same with No Way Home, but it was done differently. First of all, I didn't like how Venom looked. He did not look like Venom. He just looked like I don't know what he looked like, but anyway, probably the only good thing that came out of Spider-Man 3 was the dance. The dance just cracks me up every time I see it. But like, I wanted Spider-Man 3 to be better than what it was, but it just didn't. think Spider-Man and X-Men comics were my introduction to Marvel. Yeah. Symbiote Spidey is, like, definitely one of my favorite Spider-Man suits that he has. Definitely. Topher Grace, yep. The comics brought me more, yeah. Captain America. Nice. Yeah, when the first Spider-Man movie came out, I was still pretty young, so I watched that, and that's how it all started for me. And then I got more into comics, and then I started getting introduced to other characters from that point, so it's been quite a journey. Alright. This is Into the Spider-Verse. This movie was great, so I loved, at first, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure about it. I almost didn't watch it because it, like, I'm funny about cartoons sometimes. But when I actually sat down and watched Into the Spider-Verse, I loved it. I loved, how they brought, different variants into the movie. I love that they introduced Miles, and I loved the whole story overall. It's so good. So if you haven't seen it, just go watch it. And I am also really excited for the sequel. It's gonna be awesome. All the variants. Alright, next is What If. What If was interesting. Like, there were certain episodes that I liked more than others. But overall, I think it was, it was good. Don't really care for what if. Yeah, like, yeah, I think my favorite episode in that one was, the first one, actually. It was, I think it was the first and the fourth? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've watched it, but anyway, the first one was with Captain Carter. Yeah, I agree, Avian. I agree. And pretty much after watching that episode, it made me want to do a Captain Carter cosplay. Because I love Peggy Carter. She's amazing. And speaking of Peggy Carter, let's do Agent Carter here. And I'm gonna put it that good as well because I really like the Agent Carter show. I'm kind of sad that it got canceled and they left it on a cliffhanger. That made me really upset. It really did. It was such a good show, and Haley Atwell is a queen. Yeah, they left it on a cliffhanger, and I was upset about that. So it came on like in between seasons, or not in between seasons. I think during the winter break of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they premiered Agent Carter, and of course I had to watch it because it was Marvel. And I like Peggy Carter as a character, so I thought that show was really good, and I'm sad that it got canceled. Alright, next is Punisher, and Punisher was also a really good show. Like, It's... I know it's a little, how do I explain this? If you haven't seen it, Punisher's, like, definitely an anti-hero. And... angry guy. Angry guy with a gun. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't really blame him because of what happened to his family. So... but overall, it's really good. So if you haven't seen Punisher from the Netflix show, highly recommend it. It's really good. And the act, isn't that who Punisher is? Yeah, he technically is. I just know that he kills bad guys with guns. The bad guys who deserve it. Alright, next is Hawkeye. I'm trying not to spend too much time on this, because I know if I do, we'll be here all night talking about Marvel tier lists, and I know I'm kind of on a time limit here, so... Alright, Hawkeye. I really enjoyed Hawkeye. So, to me, Hawkeye was good. Mostly because Hawkeye is such an underrated character, in my opinion. Yeah. And also I love that they introduced Kate Bishop. I know, and also that they based it on the Matt Fraction comic run of Hawkeye, where she kind of is, where Hawkeye is Kate Bishop's like mentor and such. So I really loved how that story was kind of integrated into this show. And also, Haley Steinfeld is amazing. So I know, like, we're getting an Echo show, which I'm kind of interested to see whenever that comes out. I think they pushed the date back, actually. She did kill it as Kate Bishop. I'm excited to see more of her. Alright. Ghost Rider. Is this the first or second one? This looks like the second one. Okay, this is Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Ugh. It's been a while since I've seen this movie. I think I only saw it like once, but I don't care to watch it again. So... those are Fs. I mean, I love Ghost Rider as a character, and I love Nicolas Cage, but I didn't really care for those movies. I like... kind of the only Ghost Rider that I've enjoyed is Robbie Reyes from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was one of those movies. Oh, they did the Blackheart. Yeah, I wanted to like those movies, but no. Okay. Ooh, we're getting into Captain America now? Alright. This is Captain America First Avenger. And I would say it's a pretty solid start to the Captain America movies. I love that it took place in like World War II era, kind of showing his origin story. And also, let's just say I have a thing for Chris Evans, so he's kind of my celebrity crush. So I couldn't help but love all of these movies. So I would give the first Avenger a pretty good grade here with B. He is. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Okay. But yeah, the first Avenger was good. It was really good. I love that they introduced Bucky Barnes and Brother Red Skull, his arch nemesis, into it. And so, but yeah, the second one, Winter Soldier, will always be one of my favorite MCU movies of all time, and for a number of reasons. For one, we actually get to see Winter Soldier at some of his best. Yes, totally agree. Winter Soldier is superior, or Excelsior, as the list says. Like, I loved the whole story. I loved all the fights. The fight scenes were like some of my favorites of like the whole MCU, like especially like the highway fight between Steve and Winter Soldier. Also the elevator scene with Steve and all those Hydra guys all in one elevator was just amazing. I was like, oh my god, this is great. This is why we get along so well. The Winter Soldier was yes, real. The Russos did kill it with that movie. I think that's what really put them on the map with the MCU, is with that movie. And they did such a good job with it. I know. When it comes to Winter Soldier, it's one of my favorites, so I love it. But with the sake of time, I'm not gonna go much more into it, but I love that movie so much. Alright, and while we're on the subject of Captain America, Civil War. Civil War was pretty good as well. I would rank it above the first Avenger. Because even though I didn't like quite a few things with that movie, I still thought it was a great movie overall. Yeah, the team-ups, exactly. And also, but one of the main reasons why I loved it so much is, because Spider-Man was introduced into the MCU at that point, and that made me so happy. Because I know there was all that stuff ahead of, like before that, with Sony like having property issues and like the rights to Spider-Man and stuff. So I'm really happy that they were able to include him into Civil War, and yeah, it was the perfect introduction to him. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy that movie happened. But at the same time, I'm kind of sad to see them fighting against each other, even though it's based on the classic Marvel comic series Civil War, which honestly it's a pretty good story if you haven't read it. There are a few things that they changed from the comics, obviously, and there's a lot of characters that weren't in the movie that were in the comic. Fantastic Four, X-Men. I like, if they were able to include the Fantastic Four and X-Men in this movie, it would have been my favorite. Yeah. Oh yeah, they also introduced Black Panther. How could I forget that? Sorry, my brain is like all out of sorts right now. I'm sorry. But yeah, they also introduced Black Panther, and that was also a great introduction to him. Okay. Hang on. So, Black Widow. See, my issue with Black Widow is that it should have come out long before it did. It should have come out between Civil War and Infinity War. Then it would have made a lot more sense. But instead they released it after Endgame, and I'm like, why? Why are they doing this? But overall, I think it was okay. I loved that she finally got her solo movie with just her as the star, because Scarlett Johansson is a star. I loved her as Black Widow. Even though they pushed the movie back an entire year afterwards. Yeah, right. Because of COVID. Because that's when the pandemic hit. So yeah, I really don't like what they did with Taskmaster. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I agree, Gigi. I love Yelena. She's awesome. And I'm excited to see what they do with her, because I know she's going to be in the Thunderbolts movie as the leader of the Thunderbolts, so that'll be interesting. And I love that she was in Hawkeye. Yeah, she was great in Hawkeye. I love that they included her in there. See, that's the thing I love about Marvel. They've done such a great job in integrating all these characters and all these stories together in between the movies and the TV shows. Like, they've done it so well. So much better than DC has. Oh my god. DC doesn't even come close. Alright. Alright, looks like Avengers is next. So, the Avengers. For me, like, the first Avengers movie was just a milestone. Event that happened. I'm pretty sure I was still in high school when it came out. So, it's like, at this point, it's been like, what? Over a decade. Dang. Oh yeah. And the fact that they were able to bring together all those, all 6 Avengers, while they introduced them in other movies before then, how they were able to bring them all together into one movie, it was just so well done. And I loved every minute of it. My only complaint with that movie is what they did to my man Coulson. And I'll never forgive them for that. Alright. Age of Ultron. probably the least likable Avengers movie, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree, Devil. I don't think it was terrible. I think it's very underrated, in my opinion, because I like Ultron as a villain. And so, like, I just thought it was really cool how they brought him into it. It's my favorite moment, so yeah. Like that whole scene where they were all trying to lift Thor's hammer after the party. I really loved that. I really loved that scene. It's hard to pin down why people were so down on Age of Ultron. I know. Like, in my opinion, all the Avengers movies were good. Like, overall. They were all good movies. So I'm not sure why people don't like Age of Ultron that much. Vision picking up, yeah. Exactly. Hawkeye's speech to Scarlet Witch, yeah. Alright, so... And then Infinity War... and also Endgame both go up here for me, because, like, in my opinion, those two movies, they kind of go together. And they were just the perfect, like, conclusion to the Infinity Saga. Yeah, it's... even though, like, there were a lot of moments in both movies that I was crying, like, I was crying so hard. There were so many good moments, and for the sake of time, I'm not gonna get into it too much, because, again, we'll be here all night with that. Okay. But yeah, to me, both of those go up there. Alright, looks like Ant-Man and the Wasp is next. Or it's the first Ant-Man movie. Where is it? I don't see it. Oh, there it is. So for the first Ant-Man movie, again, he was a character I didn't really know a lot about, but for the most part, I really enjoyed it. Again, I thought it was Ant-Man has brought a lot of humor to the MCU, so I really enjoyed that movie. Paul Rudd is such a great actor. And I think he does a great job as Scott. Yeah. I didn't know a lot about Scott Lang, but I did know about Hank Pym. So it was cool to see like Scott Lang take the mantle of Ant-Man. So, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp was kind of the same deal for me. Still haven't watched that one. I love that we got to see actually, like, Hope Pym suit up as the Wasp. And we'll get to see more of her in Quantum Mania, which I'm pretty excited about for multiple reasons. Alright, so we don't have too many more left, so I'm hoping... Neurodivergent Ninja, thank you so much for that raid. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. How was your stream? How did it go? Tell me all the details. We're just doing a Marvel movie tier list. And oh wait, here's another Punisher thing I haven't seen. Sorry. Okay. Daredevil, oh my god. This is, thank you Avian for giving Neurodivergent Ninja a shout out. Appreciate it. First Daredevil movie that, oh my gosh, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. Oh, gosh. Like I said, it's been years since I've seen this. More love for the stream. This stream was fun. Has some spare energy. Got to do a bonus raid today. Better raid and run it. Aw, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, no worries, Ninja. No worries. Just go take care of yourself. Go sleep. It's all good. But I appreciate you bringing your community over. Truly means a lot. So if you guys aren't following Neurodivergent Ninja, just go do the things. All right. Where was I? Okay, Daredevil. From what I remember about this movie, I enjoyed it because I really love Daredevil as a character. Although, gotta say, Ben Affleck as Daredevil isn't really the right casting choice. Mostly because I love Charlie Cox as Daredevil so much. I just think Charlie Cox is a better fit for Matt Murdock, in my opinion. So, definitely one of my favorite scenes in the Daredevil movie was that scene with Elektra where she's training and they have the classic Bring Me to Life playing in the background. It's just classic. I love that scene. It's probably what makes the whole movie for me. Charlie Cox is far better, man. Yes, totally agree. Speaking of Daredevil, we got some Elektra's Daredevil Fungos in. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Because she's, Elektra is, Daredevil, technically, in the comics now. That's cool. I've actually thought about doing a cosplay as that, to be honest. And speaking of Elektra, don't get me wrong, I love Jennifer Garner as an actress, but her movie could have been better. Hulk. Wow, this movie's taking it back here. This is the Hulk movie with Eric Bana as Bruce Banner. I think it was one of the first, other than Spider-Man, it was one of the first Marvel movies that I watched. If I remember correctly. But I'm pretty sure I saw Spider-Man before Hulk, but I didn't think Hulk 2003 is bad. It's just very weird. Yeah. I agree. Like, the whole thing that they did with Absorbing Man, his father, or how they made Absorbing Man his father, was kind of weird looking back at it now. So, I guess it goes there. I don't really know. Okay. I'll get to Spider-Man soon, probably towards the end. Eternals, gosh. Eternals was super long. So there were some parts that I just had a hard time getting through. Although it was kind of interesting to see like more different Marvel characters introduced, even though I have no idea anything about them. And honestly, I'm not really interested in learning more about them because they just they just seem kind of like plain to me. I don't know. It's I don't know. I guess we'll see what Marvel does with them if they decide to do anything. Let's take some of the boring parts of Cosmic Marvel and turn them into a movie. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Alright. Morbius. God. Actually, to be honest, this is another movie I haven't seen, and I don't care to see it at all, because for one, I've heard how bad it is. I never got around to watching it, and I don't really care to watch it either. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's Morbin time. Honestly, I gotta say, I love how Sony decided to re-release Morbius again for a second time after seeing all those memes that everyone put out on the internet making fun of the movie. And I think they took that as everyone liking it a lot, so they decided to re-release it again. I just find that hilarious. I know, right, Avian? Such a bad call on their part. I'm like, wow. Like, I can't believe they did that. Alright. Next is Captain Marvel. Okay. Okay. I like Captain Marvel as a character in comics. I'm not a huge fan of her in the MCU. I don't absolutely hate Brie Larson as an actress. I know a lot of people do. I just think she's alright. I don't hate anybody. But as like a comic character, like from the comics, I love Captain Marvel. I loved her comics. I have a ton of them in my collection. So, like, and also, it really annoyed me that this movie, the first female-led movie in the MCU, was Captain Marvel and not Black Widow. It should have been Black Widow because she was the first female character in the MCU, and now, or not first female character, the first Avenger that was female. Sorry. But anyway, it really annoyed me that Captain Marvel got a movie before Black Widow. I'll just leave it at that. But one of my favorite things about the Captain Marvel movie is Goose, the cat, of course, because I love cats. But I am interested in seeing the sequel, because it'll bring Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau into the mix. So I'm interested to see how that works. And while we're talking about Miss Marvel, the TV show on Disney Plus definitely wasn't my favorite Marvel show, because I don't really know a lot about Miss Marvel, but I am learning more. I like her as a character, and I think the actress that plays Miss Marvel, or Kamala Khan, she's great. She fits the role really well. So I like the different vibe that the Miss Marvel show gave. So, alright. So I'm gonna try to get through the rest, and I'm aiming to start Mario Kart around 7:30, if that's alright with y'all. So I'll try to get through the rest of these quickly. Alright. Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger came out, when did it come out? Oh, it doesn't matter. But I thought it was a pretty interesting show. But again, it was characters I didn't really know too much about. I knew of them, I just didn't really know a lot about them as characters. I think the actors that they chose were pretty good. Like, I would put the Cloak and Dagger show between B and C. Granted, I kind of grew up with the duo. Yeah. I mean, they're literally like night and day, but they work so well together. That's what makes them so great. Alright. Alright, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Wasn't my favorite Disney Plus show, but I thought it was alright. I loved seeing the team up between Sam and Bucky. I think they have really good chemistry. So yeah, and I think that that story is going to play out in the next Captain America movie, since, you know, Sam becomes Captain America. He is Captain America now. Moon Knight. Moon Knight was good. It was very different, and again, Moon Knight is another character I don't know too much about, but it got me intrigued to learn more about him. So and plus Oscar Isaac nailed it. Thought it was great. Yeah, loved Moon Knight. Yeah, I mean, they did leave season 1 on a cliffhanger, technically. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna give us a season 2. Because they introduced another personality of his. So I'm pretty sure we'll get a season 2. Alright. Venom. Don't get me wrong, I love Venom as a character. I love Tom Hardy as Venom, or as Eddie Brock. just the Venom movies, and also I love how Venom looked. I loved he didn't look like he did in the third Spider-Man movie. So I thought both the first Venom movie I liked more. The second one, could have been better. Carnage did look great, and Woody Harrelson, I think, really nailed it as Cletus Cassidy. But I was like, with the Venom movies, I was expecting a lot more like gore and like blood, because I know Carnage as a character, he's a serial killer, Cletus Cassidy. So I was expecting to see a lot more like blood and everything, and I was expecting it to be rated R because, you know, it's Carnage. So yeah. Alright. Alright, let's do the Iron Man movies. Iron Man. As a beginning of the MCU, I thought it was a pretty solid start. First of all, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man, and no one else can be Iron Man. Iron Man never got better for me after the first one. Yeah, I agree. Devil's Cry. I really do. He is Iron Man. So yeah, for me, the only good thing that came out of Iron Man 2 was the introduction of Black Widow. That's pretty much it for me. And where's Iron Man 3? And then the thing with Black Widow and also War Machine too. Even though he was technically in the first movie, but he didn't suit up as War Machine until Iron Man 2. And then Iron Man 3, gosh, I think the most obvious low point for that movie was the Mandarin twist, because I know the Mandarin is such a iconic, like, Iron Man villain in the comics, and the fact that they did that twist on his character, I don't know why they did that, but, you know. So, yeah, definitely the first movie was better than the other two. But Iron Man, first Iron Man was definitely a good start to the MCU. Shang-Chi, again, he's a character that I didn't really know a lot about, but I loved the movie. So I loved the cast and the story, and I'm interested to see what they do with those characters going forward and how they're gonna tie into the multiverse saga in the next few phases. So it'll be interesting. Alright, Incredible Hulk. This movie came out after the first Iron Man movie, so it's still technically the MCU. Even though Edward Norton isn't the Hulk, he got replaced by completely Mark Ruffalo. There we go. I was like, I'm blanking his name right now. But I thought Incredible Hulk was good. I Yes. Yes, I agree. It's very underrated. And I liked that they brought Abomination into it, and we got some good fight scenes in that movie. I just think it's underrated. Oh, I realized I did Multiverse of Madness and not the first Doctor Strange. Oops. Well, the first Doctor Strange movie was really good, in my opinion. Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch is perfect as Doctor Strange. So another perfect casting for me. Oh, you haven't seen The Incredible Hulk, Gigi? Oh, it's really good. Well, not really good, but it's good. I think you'll enjoy it. If you think Norton is the better actor. It's kind of a different vibe than the MCU now. Doctor Strange is one of my favorites. Yeah, he's great. I really don't like how they nerfed his powers in Multiverse of Madness and made Wanda like so much stronger. That's another complaint that I have about Multiverse of Madness. Alright, Black Panther, again, it's a great movie, loved it. Chadwick Boseman is Black Panther. Another perfect casting, and it's incredibly sad that he passed. So yeah. Okay, we're almost done, guys. Thank you for being so patient with me. Just slowly getting through all these. Alright, guess I'll go to Iron Fist. Okay. I feel like Iron Fist could have been better. Don't get me wrong, I think Iron Fist is cool, but I feel like they could have done the show a bit better. There were some interesting fight scenes in it. I thought season 2 was better than season 1. But like, you know, Defenders. This was only like a 6-episode short series. Hey, what's up, Joe? Welcome on in. Stream is going well. We're just going through a Marvel tier list. We're just about done. But like, anyway, where was I? What was I saying? Oh yeah, Defenders. So, Defenders I thought was good. I loved how they brought the 4 Netflix shows all together, and like kind of like what they did with Avengers. And Defenders are like the street level heroes, but they're all great in their own ways. So I thought I enjoyed it. It was good. So Luke Cage, I thought also was good. I liked the first season a lot better than the second. So that goes there too. And Jessica Jones, I gotta put her up here above Luke Cage because, for one, Jessica Jones is one of my favorite female Marvel characters. I love her. And Kristen Ritter, another perfect casting. She's so great as Jessica Jones. Although I thought season 1 was the best season out of all 3. Because Kilgrave, played by David Tennant, he was so good. I loved season 1 so much. Seasons 2 and 3 were just alright to me. But season 1 definitely made that show so good. I love watching it. And I really hope that they bring Kristen Ritter back as Jessica Jones in the MCU, kind of like what they did with Charlie Cox as Daredevil. Which I know Kristen Ritter has kind of teased that she's making a return as Jessica Jones, so hopefully that will happen. And I totally agree with you, Devil's Cry. Daredevil goes up there with Winter Soldier and with the S tier rating, because it's definitely the best Marvel Netflix shows out there. They did Marvel Boy and Justice. But like, again, Charlie Cox is perfect casting for Daredevil, in my opinion. He did amazing. He does amazing work, and I love that he was in She-Hulk. And I know there's a lot of mixed reviews on She-Hulk, but personally, I loved it. Because, again, She-Hulk is one of my favorite characters. And I love that they brought Daredevil into She-Hulk. Can't forget Blade. Actually, I have not seen Blade, any of the Blade movies, and I apologize for that. I'm sorry. But yeah. I mean, it did have its flaws, but I personally enjoyed She-Hulk a lot, so I can see that. Alright, so let's do Amazing Spider-Man. I think the love for the Amazing Spider-Man movies went up after No Way Home. And I think it's only because that they brought Andrew Garfield into No Way Home. But I know, like, before that, I know the Amazing Spider-Man movies weren't seen as all that great. And actually, Devil's Cry, I agree on that rating. I liked Amazing Spider-Man 1 a lot better than Amazing Spider-Man 2. Again, Sony just did not do a good job at, like, portraying the villains that they chose. And just, I'm not even sure why Sony is still trying to create a Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man. They could have, because they teased the Sinister Six at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but they didn't go through with it because they decided not to pursue it. But it could have happened, but they chose not to. All right. Deadpool. Like, I think Deadpool is amazing. I love that they chose Ryan Reynolds to play Deadpool, because it's again the perfect casting. And I love that Deadpool is getting a third movie in the MCU, and also that Hugh Jackman is gonna be back as Wolverine, and that makes me so happy. It had a low-key feel to it that worked in its favor. Yeah. Like I love the humor that comes with Deadpool, and I'm really interested to see how he reacts and like interacts with the rest of the Marvel characters. So I think it's gonna be great. I can't wait. Alright, Deadpool 2. Again, I thought it was a good movie. I loved how they brought Cable into that movie. And I also love the fact that Cable was portrayed by Josh Brolin, otherwise known as Thanos. So I think he did a great job as Cable in that movie. Oh, you need to watch it, Devil's Cry. It's good. Yeah, he does. He does look the part well. Okay. Okay. So now, Inhumans, I'm not even gonna talk about because it was just a waste of my time. Those characters had so much potential and they just ruined it. So this goes in wish it never existed column. And the same goes with the reboot Fantastic Four, which also I'm not going to get into because I don't want to be here all night talking about how much I don't like it. Like, that movie just... It made me so upset. First of all, like, going from the OG Fantastic Four movies from the 2000s to the reboot movie in 2015, gosh, it was just awful. Just so many things about that movie were awful. But regarding the other two Fantastic Four movies, they're always gonna be one of my like comfort movies, because if you know me at all, you know how much I love Fantastic Four. So, like, I don't care what anyone says about them or about the movies. Like, I like them a lot, despite my few like complaints about them. But as far as like quality goes, I think they were okay. They weren't terrible, not like the reboot movie was. My only complaint about Silver Surfer was the fact that they made Galactus a space cloud. But the Silver Surfer himself was great. Like, Doug Jones did a great job as the Silver Surfer. I think he was great. Like, the fact that they made Galactus a freaking space cloud, that really made me upset. Because I love Galactus as a villain. He is one of my favorite villains. And I know at some point he's probably going to be introduced into the MCU, so I'm excited to see that happen. I just hope that they get him right. I'm praying that they get him right. Alright, so final 4 left, and there's some of my favorites. Yeah, I saved some of the best for last. Okay, so now we're up to the Spider-Man movies, and I gotta say, I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man, Peter Parker, but I mean, I get asked all the time who my favorite Spider-Man is, and I have such a hard time with that question because I've liked all 3 Spider-Man, and like all 3 actors as Spider-Man in their own way, because they've brought their own like twist and style to the character. But I gotta say, I've really loved Tom Holland as Spider-Man, even though Tobey Maguire will always have a place in my heart. But I think if we're looking at like accuracy, like based on the comics, from what I know about Peter Parker, I think Tom Holland fits the role the best. So that's my take on it. I know, me too. I will always love Tobey Maguire, and it made me so happy to see both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back in No Way Home. Like, I know I had heard rumors about them possibly showing up, but I didn't want to get my hopes up about anything at that point, because that they were like so many, like they were throwing so many things out there at once for that movie. It was crazy. I avoided the internet like the plague before that movie came out because I didn't want to be spoiled. It's the same with Infinity War and Endgame. I did the same. So, you know, yeah, exactly. I completely agree. Devil's Cry. That's what I've said before about that. All right. So, yeah, No Way Home was just, oh my gosh. I loved every second of that movie. Like, especially seeing Tobey and Andrew come back just made me so happy. And also Daredevil. They brought Charlie Cox officially into the MCU, and that made me happy too. But I was surprised when I saw that movie that, like, the theater that I was watching it in, like, no one hardly reacted at all. And I was like, what? Like, how can anyone not be more excited about this? I just think, I remember only like a few people clapped, like, briefly during that scene. I was like, what? This is Daredevil. Like, why? Can you show a little more enthusiasm? Alright. Okay, so the last one. As much as I've loved all these Marvel shows and Marvel movies, this last one will always, it doesn't matter what else comes out after this. This show means so much to me. And again, I can talk about this all night, how much this show means to me, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., oh my god. I know, right? Oh my god. First of all, it was kind of the first, like, Marvel show that they did. Well, Marvel television, I should say, before Kevin Feige took over. And, like, oh my god. I could go on for hours how much the show means to me. It, like, first of all, it's been the longest Marvel show that Marvel has done. It has 7 seasons, and like, this is my comfort show. And like, it's, oh gosh, and if you haven't seen it, it's just, I recommend it to everyone. Like, if you like Marvel at all, please watch at least one season of the show and just try it. If you can get through the first, the first half of season 1, then it just keeps getting better and better after that. Like, not just with the characters, but the story. Like character development is a huge deal in any movie and TV show, and I think what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has done with their characters so well is how they've evolved each of their characters over the seasons. And I really found, I really appreciated that a lot. Yes, season 2, definitely. Yes. And again, if you guys know me at all, Quake, she's definitely in the top 5 of my favorite female Marvel characters. Even though Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is, a lot of people don't consider it to be MCU canon, but I disagree. Like, I know it kind of, like, drifted away from the MCU and trying to tie into it, like, after, what was it, season 5? When they, went in a different direction. But, like, overall, the show is, oh gosh, it's so good. There's so many good stories, so many good characters. It'll make you laugh, cry, like, just, yeah. So if you haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., just try it. I'm begging you. Season 6 is when the show got kind of weird. Yeah, honestly, season 6 definitely wasn't my favorite, and I feel like I should at some point do a video ranking all the seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just so I can talk more in depth about it. That's actually a good YouTube idea. But yeah. So officially we are done with this very extensive Marvel tier list. All right.